Hello to all the children and families of St Lawrence School in Rowhedge. I'm Genevieve Yusuf and I'm going to read you my story, The Resident Pheasant. Have a listen and see if you think there's a theme running through the story. One day I was outside in front of my house when the resident pheasant popped by with a grouse. I asked him why he'd brought his friend here, and I saw on the face of the grouse dropped a tear. The resident pheasant explained that his friend had come a long way, for he lived in the fens. But now they'd built houses where he used to play, and sadly he found he had nowhere to stay. "We're terribly hungry," they both said to me. "Could you possibly find us a bit of birdseed?" So I told them, "Stay there, and I'll go and ask Mum if she can find something to fill up your tums." So Mummy and me, we gathered up food, some fat balls and seed, as much as we could. The resident pheasant was pleased as punch, and the grouse devoured his wholesome lunch. A few minutes later, we basked in the sun. The resident pheasant, he looked rather glum. I asked him what had made him so sad, and he said he was feeling terribly bad. On Monday, he told me his best friend, Red Squirrel, was preparing to move as she came from the Wirral. Her house had been destroyed by a storm, and she needed to find somewhere else safe and warm. "Do you think you could find a little more food to feed my dear friend and her hungry brood?" I went in again and questioned my mum, who found some more food to fill up their tums. The resident pheasant was awfully pleased as he stocked up on food that he hid in the trees. "I'm afraid I have one more tiny request. I need a touch more for Robin Redbreast. He's coming from Reading on Tuesday, you see, as he's lost all his friends and his family. I promise I won't ask for any more seed, as you've been so kind to us, kind indeed." I said not to worry, I'd get some more stuff, but Mummy said no, they'd had quite enough. So I had an idea and I asked neighbour Sue, who said she had plenty to feed all the crew. The resident pheasant was ever so pleased when next week came by and he set up for tea. Mummy had managed to find a bit more. In fact, all the neighbours had raided their stores. We all gathered round and we had a great feast, just us in the woods, about 15 at least. It felt rather good with old friends and new. And the resident pheasant, he whispered,